こんにちは、皆さん。今日、私たちは日本語を勉強しています。質問があれば、私に聞いてください。Greetings, everyone. Today we are studying Japanese. If you have any questions, then feel free to ask me at any time. Continuing with Immersion with Card Captor Sakura. See, this tai comes from au, which means to meet. So, and tai is sort of like the want to form. So I tai, I want to meet you, and then I nai. This is first au to aeru, which is the potential for meeting, and then nai makes it negative. So it's like, but don't have the potential to meet you, so I can't meet you. Setsunai, that's like sort of like painful, heartrending. Painful, heart, yeah. And then kimochi is feeling. So in other words, I want to meet you, but I'm not able to meet you. This painful feeling. See, this comes from iu, and it's, as you can see, it's in the potential form first, and then the negative potential form. So iu means to say, or so like, or I want, so I am not able to say, but I want to say. Chansu, that's chance. Think of it in like the noun form of it when you're referring to it, and then nokashite from nogasu means to miss, and bakari is limit, like I just or only, and it's used in exaggeration. So in other words, I'm not able to say, but I want to say. I always miss my chance. Let's see. When people study Anki, 25 Anki cards a day, how much time do they spend on each, and do they use active recall, and how much active recall do they do? Okay, so what I was told is that when I was doing Anki, I was spending way too much time on it. Basically, you should go for volume and not so much like full detailed memory of the card. Like if you know what the word is, just say the word and then move on to the next thing. Like don't try to learn words it's associated with, because number one, it wastes time from going through the Anki deck, and number two, you end up having recall from the sentence and not for the actual word, which can be a problem with learning it. That's actually something I noticed. I was recalling words by the sentence and not by the actual word. But generally, you just should spend a couple of seconds, like maybe 10-15 seconds is what I remember on Anki decks, and you should be like powering through them as fast as you can. For new cards, yes, you'd go through the sentence, you try to understand it, but once you like go through that initial process of a card once, you should be rapid firing through those cards, is what someone told me. The idea is to try to make sure the review amount for words stays a relatively large number of words. And they told me don't bother to try to learn the other words used in the sentence of the Anki card because that just slows down the purpose of Anki. But they didn't really say how much time they spent on new cards. They just said that old cards you've seen before should be like 10 to 15 seconds unless you've completely forgotten it, in which case, like, look at it, study it, and then move on, essentially. That's probably what I would do different if I was to do Anki again, though. At this point, I want to do immersion training, so I probably wouldn't go back to Anki at this point in my studying. Because so I was doing some review of ways to study, and I noticed how effective immersion training can be. Oh, something tells me I'm going way too slow through immersion training, but oh well. At least it's better than like a repetitive deck, and I can actually hear more conversational Japanese. That's actually one of the reasons why I chose a series in which anime in which they tend to use conversational Japanese. But like some things I saw was like people that try to go through like an actual Japanese as it gets used and try to study that. I noticed that those people were actually having a better time with studying Japanese. So I was like, maybe there was something to that. Which is why it's like I've learned enough from doing like basic studies with Rosetta Stone and Anki. That's why I try to move to immersion training. So let's see, Ie-nan no Ii-tai no Chansu no Gashite Bakari. Let's see, Date, uh, it's basically quoting the previous thing, and then this su and then te is basically to say. So in other words, it's like saying that said expression in English, which is probably the best translation I've found for date so far, is to think of it as that said. Subasa is wings, and then get the command form of hidoku, which is to spread. So in other words, spread rings, and then futari, two people. So and then I noticed it's de here at the end, so I suspect that this is the method dead. So in other words, spread wings, two people. In other words, spread wings together. So that's date subas sa hiroge futari de. Sora wo merasan, yume wo unisan shitai. So Sora sky, merasan is marathon, and this is in the noun sense, like when you're talking about marathons. And then yume dream, then unison, or the English word unison, and think of it in the noun sense. And then shitai, this comes from sudo, so it's basically taking these sudo verbs right here and turning them into, which are not just nouns, and turning them into a verb. And then, but it also, it's not sudo, but it's shitai, so it's in the I want to sense. So I want to run a marathon across the sky, and I want to dream in unison. And I suspect that since this is a song, is the reason why they don't have shitai after every single one, because it can be assumed that Shitai is supposed to apply to them both, and things are like edited to make it sound good for the song, essentially. Or well, and if I remember correctly, I think Hora is Kansai Ben. I could be wrong on that. Is Hora Kansai Ben? No, Hora is not Kansai Ben. Standard Japanese. Okay, so it's just okay. Okay, on the first day you see new cards, what you should do is essentially, yes, have a short enough time so that you can see it multiple times in a session, and if you keep on forgetting that card, I would keep on putting it back to come in the next couple minutes, essentially, and keep on just doing the card over and over again until you can actually go a couple minutes before forget and still remember the word. So yes, you should try to memorize all 25, but only in the sense that you should try to be able to recall it within the training window of the Anki. So I forget what times I had mine set to, but if you can remember it within X minutes, then yes, it's considered good enough, essentially, for the new cards. So in that sense, you are memorizing every card. You're just not memorizing it from like 3 hours from now, but you're memorizing it like you can remember it in the next couple minutes from now, at least. And then when you review the card, that's gonna on another day, that's gonna fortify your ability to memorize it, so that you can actually remember it for longer and longer term. So Hoarder or well, so catch you, catch me, and then mate, wait. Kochi o muite, kochi in this direction, muite, to face, and so, and this is, notice it's in the tab form, which can be considered the command, but also is also commonly used as a connective form, which is what it's being used for in this case. So, connecting with tab form can mean either at the same time, or it can mean the thing in the one thing happens first, followed by another thing. In this case, it's the latter of one thing happens first, followed by the other thing. So it's kochi or muite, so face in my direction, and then skida. Skida to ite. So to do liking, and then to is a quoting particle, so it's quoting this whole sentence, and then ite is telling you in what contents it's being quoted. It's to say, so we're quoting this for being said. So in other words, turn in my direction and say, you love me, like me, however you want to interpret this statement. Words like this tend to be ambiguous. And then notice how it's in the tab form. Here, I believe this tab form is not so much for connecting, but for commanding. So in other words, you're telling someone, turn in my direction and say you love me. So, I believe that's just the so as in wells, kind of so. Okay. I believe it's this so. In that way, thus, such. Okay. So it's this so, not the other so we sometimes use the appearing like so. So, 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 nice to meet you. Good to see you, Keto. What's your Keto was? I think that's what Shirley or something like that. Yeah, Shirley. Okay. Now, notice the singer said, Atashi here, not Watashi, because Atashi is a feminine casual way of saying Watashi. But anyway, Watashi no Omoi. Let's see, Anata. Oh, let's see. So, so Watashi no Omoi, or my thoughts, basically, and then Anata no Ki Ahato, basically heart, so your heart, and then targeting that, so it's going towards that, and then the verb tonde, which is to jump or to fly, and then ike is uh, let's, let's see, iku, which is essentially so my thoughts, or in this context, you maybe consider the thoughts as feelings, but I think they're supposed to be thoughts in this context, though. Are able to fly, fly, fly. Oh, that's right. This is I believe this is casual potential form, if I remember correctly. Oh no, that would be ikeru. Interesting. They use command slash connecting form. Okay, but anyway, so my thoughts are able to fly to you. Or maybe it's supposed to be my thought not able to fly, but my thoughts fly to you. Let's see. Watashi wa watashi no omoi wa anata no hato wo tonde ike. See, may my feelings fly straight to your heart. Okay, is how this translator translates it. Now, what if I put it iku instead of... Okay, the translator can't tell the difference. Okay, koi shiteru. That's a contraction of koi shite iru. Often when you contract iru, you drop the e part and just add it on to the previous word. Hence why it's spelled as koi shiteru. Now, shite comes from suru, but it's in the connective form, but combined with iru, it becomes the continuous form, essentially. So continuously, and then continuous what koi, which is romantic love. In other words, I'm in love with you. Let's see, mono. That's mono oto. Mono oto, noise, sound. Doesn't oto also sound though? Why would you use mono oto over oto? Difference between mono oto and oto. Oto is the generic term for all sounds, including natural sounds, music, voice, and noises. It is used when the source of the sound is known or irrelevant, such as kirei na oto, a beautiful sound, or tengoku no oto, the sound of waves. Mono oto refers specifically to an indistinct or unidentified sound, typically made by objects or unknown entities. It carries connotations of suspicious, strangeness, or fear, often used when hearing a noise from an empty room or a closet where the source is unclear, such as Tonari no heya kara mono oto ga kikoete. I heard a noise from the next room. Sakura to panda to kawaii omise. So Sakura and panda and a cute shop. Or maybe that's supposed to say Sakura in the shop with the cute panda. Let's see. Sakura to panda to kawaii omise. The translator seems to think it's the first one. Sakura and pandas and Sakura panda and cute shop. What does that say for the name? Seito Tachi. Seito is students, essentially, though, unlike Gakusei, which has the limitation of being purely like a K through 12 or a college type of student, a Seito can include any kind of student, like an apprentice of someone going to like a apprenticeship school, or like anything. It doesn't have to be formally just solely in the educational system. It can be any kind of student. However, because it implies everything, you can also use it for students in the educational system, like you're seeing here. And Tachi is basically saying it's more than one person, so Seito Tachi, or students. Ja Ja Domo. Let's see, I'm thinking that's, well, is that everything, or, and then go something sama desu ka? Oh, Domo. Oh, that's right. Uh off Domo arigato gozaimasu is a way of very polite play of saying thank you. Do is like what, in what way. Mo is in always. So domo is like in all ways. Yeah, mo is an all meaning to it, and do is like a what way meaning to it. So together they make in all ways. So when you say domo arigato gozaimasu, you're basically saying in all ways, basically in all ways in which I can't even express thank you. However, you often see this phrase shortened, in which they just say domo, and just based on the context, you can tell that what they mean when they say domo is they meant to say domo arigato. And that's what he's doing here. This is similar like how when someone comes home, they say tadaima, which just means just now, which in the by itself doesn't mean anything, but you know that it's actually short for tadaima kaerimasu. In other words, just now I've returned. Now, let's see. Hikoshi. Moving, dwelling. Hikoshi, change in residence, and then Gyosha, trader, dealer, business person, company, vendor, supplier. So let's break this down. Yo, work, business. Okay, and so Gyo has a work or business company meaning to it, and then this can sometimes be used to refer to a person. So a work business person would be basically an employee of a work or business. And then now this, I believe this comes from Hiku, if I remember correctly. Yes, to pull, to tug. So it's related to pulling and tugging, which would make sense in a moving business. And then, let's see, Goshi, across, beyond, throughout. Kosu, to cross over, e.g. mountains. So this is basically cross and then pulling together to represent the word for. Moving, changing residence. Hikoshi. So this is a moving, changing residence business person, not aka. It's a mover. Hikoshi Gyosha. Let's see, and then Masa. That's probably just kanji for her name. Yeah, that's just her name, probably. Let's see. Oh, Maki, yeah. Her name has to do with timbers, trees, and true reality, okay? And then she's saying, go Kuro-sama. Let's see, Kuro-sama. Trouble, hardship. Okay, so this go in the front is just for an honorific. And then when you say something like trouble or hardship, kuro, and then add sama to it as if it's a person, you're basically stating that someone's went through trouble or hardship. And in Japanese, stating something is how you, like that is how you do responses to things. So go kuro-sama is basically a way, as it was saying, it's saying, thank you for your hard work. Or, aka, thank you for being the person that went through the trouble of doing something. This is similar to how, let's see. Urusai. This is similar to how urusai just means noisy, but when you say it, you're trying to say that it's too noisy, someone needs to be quiet. Yeah, because in Japanese, like, you don't gain a trait. You sort of like, the way the language sort of works is that you move into being that trait. So if you're going through a lot of trouble, you're moving into the person of going through to a lot of hard work, and that's the way language is sort of built in Japanese. Hence why they use phrases that reference like traits as people, and you're just moving from one trait to another trait. So, ja domo, okay. Go kuro-sama, okay. Yeah, ja domo go kuro-sama desu. Let's see. So, sa will. Sa yaruka. So sa or well, and yaruka to do. Yaru is to do, and then ka is question. So in this case, I think she's saying is that all there is to do? I think that's what that means. Oh, alright, let's do this. See, how does yaruka mean that? I know it means to do, and but yaru has as opposed to sudo has a tendency to mean a lot of hard work. The yaruka is a casual colloquial form of the verb sudo combined with the question ka, literal meaning to do, question mark. Nuance. Yaru is more active, vigorous, and slangy than sudo. It often implies performing an action with effort, performing a show, or engaging in a specific activity. Contextual connotations. Due to its informal nature, yaru can carry slang meanings depending on the context. See, in aggressive context, it can imply to kill or to fight, general action. In most neutral contexts, it simply means, are we going to do it? Or do you want to do it? When combined, sai, yaru, ka translate, alright, are we doing it? Or, come on, let's do this. Okay, I see. So, and the sense that you could say, shall we do this, has a question tone to it, but you essentially are trying to say that let's do this, so it can mean, so sa yaruka can mean shall we do this, or let's do this. Atarashi omise ga dekirunda. Let's see, dekiru is let's see. Tadashi is new, and then omise is shop, but in the O is an honorific in that. Let's see, real quickly, dekiru can have like a able to do context, but it can also be finished context. To be able to do, to be possible. Yes, but dekita can mean when past tense was able to do, in other words, finished, I guess. Okay, because I know dekita can mean finished, something's finished. So I think she's saying let's see, to come into existence, to form, to appear. So I think this is going to be is there a new shop? I'm guessing is what this means. Okay, so it's not a question since it always a new store is opening. let's see, intransitive verb meaning to be made, to be built, to come into existence. In other words, there's a new shop, I guess. Okay, so in this context, dekiru does not mean can do as an ability, but rather to come into being or to be created. It's commonly used for things like buildings, relationships, or events that come into existence. See, makes the statement sound more conversational and explanatory. It often implies the speaker is responding to a situation or setting the stage for further discussion. I guess she's responding to just all of a sudden seeing a new shop. Why use dekiru instead of iru or aru? See, dekiru is used instead of aru or iru because it describes something coming into existence, not just its presence. Oh, that's right. Aru means it just has a presence, while dekiru is more of it's coming into existence. Kawaii nui guru let's see, migai ip, see, migai pai arun desu ne. See, let's see, nui gurumi is basically stuffed animal. It means, I believe it's from new for to wrap. And then I think kurumu's to cover, so it's and with a 10-10, because it's the second word, would be gurumi. Okay, yeah, nui gurumi stuffed toy. Yeah, new to sew to stitch, and then gurumi. Oh, so kurumu to wrap. So to sew and to wrap together essentially makes stuffed animal. Yeah, kurumu. So nui gurumi. So ga ippai. If I remember correctly, that means like completely filled with something. Ippai, one cup, one glass, yeah, completely full ippai of whatever we're talking about. Ippai, and then exist. And then the explanatory and then des for politeness. Des for politeness. Okay, so in other words, it's saying that it's completely full with stuffed animals or stuffed animal toys, essentially. Or kawaii nui gurumi ga ippai arun desu ne.
かわいいぬいぐるみがいっぱいあるんですね。お店今日からなんですか？
お店今日から。今日から。Okay. お店今日、からなんですか? So, as for the shop, because the wa or particle is dropped in the sentence, but let's see, or the wa or ga particle is dropped, and then kyokara from today. Nan desu ka? Why is nan there? I think she's trying to ask, is the shop going to be open from today? But I'm trying to think of how the nan gets used in here, this sentence. Is the store open starting today? Oh, that's right. Okay, so in question words statements in Japanese, where you put the answers, where you put the question word, in this case it's nan desu. So if she was stating the store is open from today, she would say something like omise kyo kara, and then some word for open desu. But because she doesn't actually know it, she's asking it. Instead of she's basically asking the state instead, so it's just non-des, okay? Yeah, and des is often used as a replacement to the already understand verb. See, watashi Matsumoto Maki.
木本さくらです。
さくらちゃんね。
お店今日からなんですか？
I believe this is just like well or kind of statement, and then watashi Matsumoto
私、松本真希。
Maki, okay. So in other words, she's saying Matsumoto Maki, and in Japanese you say your last name first, or your family name. So her name is Maki Mitsumoto. And she didn't bother to say a name because it's understood that she's given her name.
今日からなんですか？
She would have said Namai if she wanted to actually explicitly state it, but when things are obvious, you don't say it.
私、松本真希。このお店の店長です。よろしくね。私、
Let's see. Wait, why? Okay, the translator's saying yes for this eh. Why are you saying yes? Oh, that's right. She just asked, is the store opening today? And eh is another way to say yes. That's right, okay.
松本真希。このお店の。
このお店 let's see, このお店の something です。よろしくね。 Yoroshiku welcome, and let's see.
の店長です。
お店今日からなんですか？
ええ、私松本真希、このお店の店長で。
Tencho. That looks like a business related word. Store related word, but I'm not sure which. Tencho, shop manager. Okay, made from the kanji of store and then long nagai osa nagai long nagau. Okay. So long plus store makes the store manageable. Tencho. Kono omise no tencho desu. Or in other words, let's see. Kono. So this shop. This shop's to be this shop's manager. And notice she used kono. She's using possession, or coming from her. So she, it's whatever it is, it's referring to her because it's kono mi se no tencho desu. So when she just says to be store manager, the fact that she's using kono implies that she is the store manager. Then yoroshiku ne, or yoroshiku welcome. Oh, okay, not welcome. Okay, yoroshiku is short for dozo yoroshiku onegaishimasu. It's one of those understood phrases in which they often just say one word of the phrase. Its more literal meaning is well, properly. With the full phrase having a meaning of please consider me or something like that. Dozo yoroshiku onegaishimasu. Yeah, nagai has to do with wish, so to do wish. So, by all means, or certainly, probably, yeah, please, basically, I wish that you, by all means, remember me. In other words, please consider me, which is basically sort of how you say welcome in Japanese. But here she's just taking this full phrase and just dropping it down to yoroshiku. So, kono omise no tensho desu. Yoroshiku ne. Yoroshiku ne.
お店今日からなんですか？
ええ、私松本真希、このお店の店長です。よろしくね。
木本さくらです。
さくらちゃん。で見て、その頃には開店の準備終わってるから。はい。学校で私松本真希、このお店の店長です。よろしくね。
Kinomoto Sakura desu. Basically, she just gave her name, so she just gave her name back. And actually see the meaning of these names. Sakura is just the tree, of course, but the Kinomoto, tree of this origin, main book. Hmm.
ええ、私松本真希、このお店の店長です。よろしくね。
木之本さくらです。
さくらちゃんね、学校の帰りに寄ってみて。その準備終わってるから。はい。店長です。よろしくね。
木之本さくらです。
さくらちゃん。
Sakura-chan ne. Let's see. Gakko no Midori ni.
ね、学校の帰りに寄って。
Oh, kaeri ni. That's right, kaeri.
開店の準備終わってるから。はい。
木之本さくらです。
さくらちゃんね、学校の帰りに寄ってみて。開店の準備終わってるから。
Gakko, which is of course school, then kaeri, basically the noun form of return. If you want to talk about returning in the noun sense, which that instead of in the verb sense, you say kaeri, which because kaeru is to return, and usually they use this word for return when they're talking about coming home, essentially. So I'm guessing she's coming home. Then let's see. Yotte mite. Yoru, to approach, to draw near. To come near, to be close. To stop by while on one way to another place. I think this is probably the definition they're actually going for while they use this word yoru. So returning from school, stopping by, and then this mite comes from miru, which is to see, but the way it's being used here, it means to try, because out of the concept of see and try. So yotte mite. So you would try. So you would try to stop by, essentially. Oh, is she asking a question? Is she ask? Maybe she's not. Hmm. Actually, she's the fact that she ends the sentence with in the tab form makes. Is this a command? And is she saying, "Can you stop by here on your way back from school?" Because those deliveries, I suspect this is actually in the morning and not after school. So maybe she's saying to come here after school. Let's see, Sakura, why don't you stop by on your way home from school? So basically, you're approaching something, but on the way of doing something else, essentially. Okay. So, yoru.
店長です。よろしくね。
木本さくらです。
さくらちゃんね。学校の帰りに寄ってみて。その頃には開店の準備終わってるから。よろしくね。
木本さくらです。
さくらちゃんね。学校の帰りに寄ってみて。その頃に。
その頃には something no something 終わってるから。
には開店の準備終わる。
開店の準備。準備, that's preparations if I remember correctly. So 準備終わって. So something about preparations being finished, I guess. Let's see. Kaiten, opening a new shop. So yeah, the first kanji has to do with open, and the second one has to do with shop. So open and shop means opening a new shop. Well, okay, so opening a shop for a day, for the day. Not like... Okay, so this has to do with opening the shop for the day. Yeah, this kanji comes from hiraku or aku, open. Also akeru and hirakeru as well. But so kaiten. And then, yeah, junbi, preparation. So kaiten no junbi is opening the shop for the day preparations. So, and they're owateru, that's to finish, but this is in a continuous state, so they'll be in the continuous state of being finished. Sono koro. And this kata is just from that, and it's going to continue from there. Though she could not say something, as sometimes it's not needed to continue from there if it's obvious. Let's see. Explain the grammar of... Sonokoru, that time referring to the previously mentioned point in time. Oh, that's right. This is probably the same kodo that's Konogoro, but sometimes it's pronounced Godo and other times it's pronounced Koro. Godo. Let's see. Approximate time. Yeah, Kodo. Approximate time around about that time. So okay, so this is basically a transitional phrase saying that time, or as for that time. So sono koro ni wa. So it's not, that time is not only the topic we're talking about, but it's also the time. So we're setting it with ni. So sono koro ni wa kai 開店 open. Okay. その頃には開店の準備終わってるから。準備 okay.
学校の帰りに寄ってみて。その頃には開店の準備終わってるから。
Okay, so she's saying from
学校の帰りに寄って。このお店の店長です。よろしくね。
木本さくらです。
さくらちゃんね。学校の帰りに寄ってみて。その頃には。
So basically, from the time I just mentioned of the preparations will be okay. As for the time I just mentioned, the preparations will be completed, and from that, and then she doesn't say that from that because it's obvious. She wants her to check out the store, and you don't have to say that after Kara. When it's obvious, so she just said the store was basically saying, oh, the store's going to be open then, and you don't have to say the reason why you're bringing that up because it's known.
学校の帰りに寄ってみて。その頃には開店の準備終わってるから。
And she's saying, okay, yes, sure, I can check out the store. Yeah. There's a lot of interjections in this anime. See, chime moo or chime essentially.
さくらちゃん。新しいお店ができたの知ってる？さくらちゃん。
Let's see. Atarashi omise ga dekita no shiteru. Yeah. Let's see. Utsuru. Yeah, this is from Shiru. That's right. So in other words, this is no, and then shiteru is from shiteiru, which is a continuous state of knowing. In other words, she's asked. So, new shop had past tense or had came into existence. No, or in other words, do you know about the new shop? So, and her name is Chiharu, which 1000 in springtime or spring season. Chiharu. Should have guessed Haru just from this symbol. Okay. So, Atarashi omise ga dekita no shiteru.
さくらちゃん。新しいお店ができたの知ってる？ツインベルでしょ？
Twin beru desho. So yeah, that's right. Desho is basically the suggestive tense of des. So like, are you talking about twin bell essentially? That's what she's saying. So do you mean twin bell? So twin beru desho.
新しいお店ができたの知ってる？ツインベルでしょ？寄り道しない？ツインベルでしょ？
Yuri mishinai. See, I know this has to do with path. Yori Meech. Dropping in on the way, stopping off at, making a side trip. And then Shinai comes from Sudo in its negative sense, and oftentimes in Japanese you ask a question in the negative sense. So it's like saying, do you not want to go there? Which is basically their way of saying, do you want to go there? And in this case, do you want to drop by? So, what is this from? Yoru, to approach. Oh yeah, it's that same to approach or stop along the way verb. Okay. Michi, and that's just path. Yeah, road path. Yorimichi Shinai. So Yorimichi Shinai.
新しいお店ができたの知ってる？ツインベルでしょ？寄り道しない？千春ちゃんぬいぐるみ大好きだもんね。
Chihara-chan. Okay, or her name essentially. Yeah, her name. Okay, so Nui Gurumi da. Stuffed animal toy. So to be stuffed animal ta. Let's see. E. Alright, let's see. Ski damon. So ski like, and then dot to like, to be essentially. And then mon is the short for mono thing. So I think she's trying to say, Chihara-chan likes stuffed animals, types of things. In other words, likes stuffed animals. But why is this written this way? Let's listen to that again.
ツインベルでしょ？寄り道しない？千春ちゃんぬいぐるみ大好きだもんね。
Oh, that's daisuki. Oh, that's dai. Okay. So this is not the particle da. This is dai, as in daisuki, which is basically a more intense version of ski. So really likes it. And depending on context, actually, maybe a better translation is Chihara-chan loves stuffed animals. Usually daisuki gets used in a love context. Okay, so that's okay. So yes, that Rika-chan, or basically one of her friends, told Naoko-chan, another one of her friends, Mo Sasota. Okay, this is from Sasou. So, okay, so to invite, to ask. So in other words, yes, Rika-chan and Naoko-chan are also invited. And they also coming from this Mo particle here. So Sasota, so Sasou, okay.
道しない千春ちゃんぬいぐるみ大好きだもんね。うん。リカちゃんとナオコちゃんも誘ったの。さくらちゃんも一緒に行かない？
Okay.
リカちゃんとナオコちゃんも誘ったの。さくらちゃんも。
Sakura-chan mo isho ni ikanai. So does Sakura-chan want to also go together, or does Sakura-chan want to go with us? So isho means like together. So with togetherness, do you want to go essentially? And notice she's using mo right here. It's because they want to imply also, as in addition to them going, Sakura-chan also going. So Sakura-chan mo isho ni ikanai, and then it's ikanai because in Japanese you often ask in the negative sense, like, do you not want to go, when you have the meaning for that phrase to be, do you want to go? So Sakura-chan mo isho ni ikanai.
リカちゃんとナオコちゃんも誘ったの。さくらちゃんも一緒に行かない？ともよちゃんとも行こうって約束してたの。さくらちゃんも一緒に行かない？ともよちゃんと。
See, Tomoyo-chan, Tomo, ikote.
も行こうって約束してたの。さくらちゃんも一緒に行かない？とも。
Let's see, Yaksa. Yakusoku, promise, agreement, appointment, engagement, date, okay. So, okay, so, with Tomoyo-chan, let's see, let's see, shall we go? And then the sute, which can mean either toiyu or toshite. In this case, this is a contraction of toiyu. So it's essentially saying, I also said I would go with Tomoyo-chan, but then this whole phrase is loaded as a is connected with this verb is connected with the verb phrase of yakusoku shite. Okay, any questions so far? Okay, let's continue this. So yakusoku, see, shiteta. Okay, so shiteta is short for shite ita, which is basically continuous past. So it's sort of like I, I said I was doing this promise, basically talking about the action in a continuous way, but referring to something clearly in the past tense. So altogether, this is basically saying, uh, uh, saying, I, I, I also made a promise to go with Tomoyo-chan.
リカちゃんとナオコちゃんも誘ったの。さくらちゃんも一緒に行かない？ともよちゃんとも行こうって約束してたの。みんなで行こうよ。さくらちゃんも一緒に行かない？ともよちゃんとも行こうって約束。
Tomoyo-chan とも行こうって約束してたの。
してたの。
Let's see. みんなで行こうよ. Or so mina, everyone, and then de, the particle used to show method, and then iko, basically shall we go? It's from iku. So together that makes shall we go together, or shall we go as everyone? And then yes. This is Chihara, if I remember correctly. Chihara. Yes, Chihara.
さくらちゃんも一緒に行かない？ともよちゃんとも行こうって約束してたの。みんなで行こうよ。
See, piano now something. Inso, musical performance, comes from and which and kanaderu to play an instrument. So basically a piano musical performance. Inso, I think I've seen this in kanji used in other words as well. Let's see. Enzetsu, speech dress. Ingeki, drama theater. That's what it was. Ingeki. In shutsu, direction of a play, film. Inso, musical performance. Play music, speak to a ruler. Okay.
ともよちゃん。
See. Tomoyo ga yoru no. Let's see. I know that word's used in utau or to sing. So when it's by itself, it just means uta, I believe. So it's yoru no uta or evening song. And then evening song is utau So in other words, to sing, and then utau goe. So to being sing voice. So in other words, the voice of Tomoyo-chan singing evening song. I believe that's what that says. Yeah, utau. I believe that's interesting. They translated it as koe, not goe. Learn the grammar of the sound of Chihaya singing Song of the Night. Is it supposed to be koi or goe? In the phrase, is it koi or goe? Let's see. The word is read as koi. This is because it appears as a standalone noun. Interesting. I thought it would be. Oh, that's right. It is standalone because basically it's just a standalone word voice, and then the whole phrase before it is a descriptor acting like an adjective for that voice. So what type of voice do we have? We have a uh a song of the night or night song voice. That's the type of voice we have. And we're saying this is Tomoyo-chan's voice, essentially.
Tomoyo-chanの声だ。
Tomoyo-chan no koida, or Tomoyo-chan's voice.
ちゃんの声だ。ともよちゃんコーラス部なんだよね。
Tomoyo-chan kurasu heya. Isn't heya, I think, room? Nanda yone.
ともよちゃんコーラス部なんだよね。
Kurasu. Korasu. This will probably help the translator. Department company, club. Oh, korasu. Oh, this is not class. This is chorus. Chorus club. Uh, uh, korasu. Let's see, how does she pronounce it?
ともよちゃんコーラス部なんだよね。ともよちゃんコーラス部なんだよね。歌もすっごく。ともよちゃんコーラス部なんだよね。
Mandata or explain the grammar of that. Korasubu Choir Club. Korasubu. Okay. Tomoe-chan, Korasubu Nandayo ne. Okay, so I believe the reason this non is here is when trying to say verbs in keiyoshi or adjectives in a like a statement, like you're having a state in a logical fact kind of way, or you usually use no, but which gets shortened to but for nouns and keio or meishi basically, or keio doshi or na adjectives, you use non. And that's what you're seeing here. Since this is a noun, she's using non, and so this sounds more like you're just making a statement of fact. Or this is Tomoyo-chan's choir class. So Tomoyo-chan korasubu nandayo ne.
ともよちゃんコーラス部なんだよね。歌もすっごく上手でコンクールで何回も優勝してるの。コーラス部なんだよね。歌もすっごく上手。
Let's see. Uta mo sugoku jozu de. I think sugoku is supposed to be like amazing, and then jozu is skillful. And then konkuru. Let's see, konkuru de nanikai mo something shiteru no. Now you can see right here how she's using no instead of the but you can see how when using an explanation sort of way you use no there for verbs. Utamo Sugoku, extremely very terribly, and then Jozu, skillful. Konkuru, competition. Any questions so far? Okay, so we're continuing. So, very skillful. Oh, that's right. That's what that is there for. When you're using non-adjectives as a chain of descriptors, you have to use de. So yeah, this de is actually more like the connected form of na that's used in na adjectives. Then ko kokuru. So I think that's what this de is for. Let's see. Then let's see, competition. Let's see. Nankai. Time and time again. So in this case, it's mo. So it's not being Nankai is not being used in a in a question sense. I think it's being used in a, see, non is the question word, and then kai means repetitive. So time and time again, many times. So instead of how, you're not so much saying how many times, you're just saying many times. And then you you let's see, you show shiteru. You show victory, championship. I think it's supposed to be like sort of like yearly championship, but here they're saying many times championship to imply that yes, it's the yearly championship. So non kaimo. And that may be the reason why Des. Let's see. Let's see what the translator has to say about this. She's also an amazing singer and has won competitions many times. Let's see. Let's see. So also, let's see. Skillful. So extremely skillful. So as for songs, extremely skillful. And then she's also an amazing singer and has won competitions many times. Explain the grammar of this. Song or singing. Mo particle meaning also too. Sugoku. In casual emphatic variant of sugo. Okay. Adverb meaning very extremely. Jozu. Or skillful. Okay. Concours de. Noun meaning competition or contest, borrowed from the French concours. De particle indicating the location or context where the action takes place. Okay, so it says it's the location de. So at the location of contest, many times. Okay, so at the location of contest, many times, she's continuous state of victory. So she's had many victories at the location of contest or competition. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So, コンクールで、何回も優勝してる. Remember this, 優勝 comes from yasashi or tenderness, so excel, surpass, and then victory. So overall victory. So pseudo verb, intransitive, okay. Now why is this other de here? The te form, specifically de form of the copula des. Oh, okay, I see. This is connecting two sentences together, so instead of ending with da, they made da in its connective form of de. So, as for song, extremely skillful. And also as for song, one had total victory at a location of competition many times. In other words, she's very skillful and she's won many competitions, which is okay. What it translates to. Okay, so 優勝してる. Uta mo sugoku jouzu de, コンクールで何回も優勝してるの?
ともよちゃんコーラス部なんだよね。歌もすっごく上手でコンクールで何回も優勝してるの。綺麗な声だな。
綺麗な声だな. So it's ending with na because it's more like a personal thought aimed at herself, essentially. And then koi, voice, yeah, kirei, beautiful. And because kirei is a keiyodoshi or na adjective, to attach something to describe, you have to have na here. So kirei na koi da na.
綺麗な声だな。たもよちゃん、ポーチ探してるんだ。いるのに。たもよちゃん。
Tomoyo-chan, pochi.
ポーチ探してるんだ。
Sagashiterunda. Okay.
たもよちゃん。
Pochi. So, searching for pochi? What is pochi? Because, yeah, sagashite comes from sagasu, to search. Oh, pochi, pouch, accessory. So, Tomoyo-chan, ポーチ探してるんだ。So, is that saying that Tomoyo-chan's searching for a pouch? Okay, no, it's just calling their attention and then saying, I'm looking for a pouch. Unless there's a wa implied in here. Let's see if I put a wa in that sentence. Let's see, Tomoyo-chan is looking for a pouch. Okay, let's see how it's being used in the anime. Tomoyo-chan, ポーチ探してるんだ。
ともよちゃん、ポーチ探してるんだ。ビデオカメラのバッテリーを入れるのに。ビデオカメラ。
Video camera no. Battery. So video cameras batteries. Battery. Let's see. 入れる。See, hide is to enter. So, to receive entering. So, I think it's just saying, let's see. Video camera, okay. Video camera no battery o haireru no ni. And no ni is usually used for contrasting things. So with this in mind, because that's normalizing no, and then the ni for with. So with the fact that the video camera needs to it is receiving batteries with the video camera's batteries receiving entering. I think she said hairu. Let's see.
探してるんだ。ビデオカメラのバッテリーを入れるのに。ともよちゃん、ポーチ探してるんだ。
Oh, that's right. Is this the potential form or the able to enter? Oh, ireru. What was hairu then? Hairu. Hairu. Ireru. Okay, so that's not transformation. That's actually to let you know it's this word ireru. Okay. To put in transitive. So video camera no battery o ireru no ni. So since with the fact that I have to put in a video camera battery.
ポーチ探してるんだ。ビデオカメラのバッテリーを入れるのにちょうどいいポーチがなくて困ってるんですの。探してるんだ。ビデオカメラのバッテリーを入れるのに
Let's see. ちょうどいい or it's chodo is like exactly and e is good, so it's all right basically. It's just perfect. Chodoi pochi, so a perfect fit pouch ga nakute. Let's see. It's probably from nai, so doesn't exist, but this is in connective form, so it's nakute, because you turn nai, you drop the e sound on nai and make it ku te, and then te for connective form. So the perfect pouch, okay, doesn't exist, so
ともよちゃん、ポーチ探してるんだ。ビデオカメラのバッテリーを入れるのにちょうどいいポーチがなくて困ってる。
oh, komatterun desu. No, okay. Komatte. No, I should know this word. Studied this word several times on the Anki decks. Chodo, basically exactly. So exactly good, okay. Komatteru, that's in continuous form, so to be troubled, to have difficulty, to be in a fix. So because an exactly good pouch doesn't exist, I'm in a fix. Or chorui pochi ga nakute. Okay, kamate from kamaru. So, chorui pochi ga nakute. Komatterun desu no. So I'm having trouble because I can't find a good bag, I think she's saying. See, I can't find a pouch that's just the right size, and it's really bothering me. Yeah, ちょうどいいポチがなくて困ってるんですの。
ともよちゃん、ポーチ探してるんだ。ビデオカメラのバッテリーを入れるのにちょうどいいポーチがなくて困ってるんですの。私はノートを探そうかな。ポーチ探してるんだ。ビデオカメラのバッテリーを入れるのにちょうどいいポーチがなくて困ってるんですの。私は
私はノートを探そうか。So as for shall I search for a note? Or is this a reference to a computer? But no, this is animes made in the 90s. There's no way that they were referring to a laptop when they say Noto. Not elementary school kids, at least. Yeah, I think I'll go look for my notebook. 私はノートを探そうかな。Okay, so this is sort of like the connotation of should I look for a notebook, as in shall I go look for a notebook, where you're not really asking the question, you're just saying it in a question way what you're going to do, essentially. So, 私はノートを探そうかな. Oh yeah, you can tell that that's actually what it's meant for, the fact that she says kana. Not na tends to be more self-targeting statements, as in you're not really asking the question.
のバッテリーを入れるのにちょうどいいポーチがなくて困ってるんですの。私はノートを探そうかな。新しいお店ってワクワク。新しいお店ってワクワク。のバッテリーを入れるのにちょうどいいポーチがなくて困ってるんですの。私はノートを探そうかな。新しい
新しいお店ってワクワクしない。Let's see. What is waku waku? To be excited, sudo verb. To be nervous, to be thrilled. Oh, that's right, yeah, waku waku shimasu. That's right, yeah. Oh, or that's right. This sute comes from, instead of being said, or it's like to say, or so. Yeah, this is so. As for the said new shop, waku waku shinai. Are you not excited? AKA, are you excited? So, are you excited about the new shop? And then this naoko. Nada? What? Okay. Cord strap metal child. So, Atarashi o misette waku waku shinai. And remember this sute can be sort of used like wa as well.
ビデオカメラのバッテリーを入れるのにちょうどいいポーチがなくて困ってるんですの。私はノートを探そうかな。新しいお店ってワクワクしない？ほんとね。
Honto ne. Really? Which honto is truth. And, if I remember correctly, she actually shortened it so she doesn't have the us letter on it. But that's just a pronunciation thing. It's not a new word. Let's see. Yeah, honto. Yeah. And in English, when you want to say really, like, is that really, really true? You generally emphasize the really part. But in Japanese, when you want to say if something's really true, you don't emphasize the really part, you emphasize the true part. So, honto ne, is that really true? She didn't bother to say the word for really. She just said true. So it's like you can also think of it more like honto ni, basically, and truly, essentially. And she just dropped the ni because it's obvious in this situation.
ちょうどいいポーチがなくて困ってるんですの。私はノートを探そうかな。新しいお店ってワクワクしない？ほんとね。まだお店開いてないみたいね。まだ。
Mada omise.
お店開いてないみたい。
Mitai. Let's see. Yeah. see, hiraku to open. Okay. So then, let's see, which, and its connected form is hiraite. So hiraite nai. So why is this nai right here? Is it just a particle missing, or? And then this, okay, mitai is sort of like, seems like. And then, yeah, this mata is still, but okay, let's look up why why it's, hiraite nai. Well, did she say aite, hiraite? Because the kanji can be pronounced both ways, and you have to just use it correctly based off of the sentence.
まだお店開いてないみたい。まだお店開いてないみたい。
Yeah, aite, okay. Mara omise aite nai mitai ne. Let's see, aite, the te form of aku. Nai, the negative auxiliary verb attached to the te form. So aite nai becomes... Wouldn't this be akanai? Why is it aite nai? Why is it aite nai instead of akanai? See, the form aitenai is used instead of akanai because it describes a current state resulting from a past action, not the simple fact that the shop doesn't open. Let's see. Akanai, this is the simple present negative form of the verb aku, to open it. It means does not open or won't open, referring to the general fact or a future possibility. For example, the shop doesn't open on Sundays. Aitenai, this is the negative form of aiteiru, which is the present progressive state of aku. The structure of Vteiru indicates a state that exists now because of completed action. So aitenai means it is not open right now. Okay, so this is supposed to be thought as the continuous state, but the continuous state in the negative form, where iru gets replaced with nai. So the shop still appears not open, or mara omise aite nai mitai ne.
まだお店開いてないみたいね。まだ
Shitsumon ga arimasu ka? Are there any questions? Okay, if there's no questions, then we're gonna raid someone. So one of the people we're gonna raid is Peter to Japan. He seems to be playing Wagutabi, which is a Japanese learning game. It's sort of like Koi, but just a different game. We're also gonna raid Doctor Disrespect. He's currently playing Apex Legends. And the last person we're gonna raid is let's see. We're gonna raid Sanemiru Fiend. Oh, or Sanemi-chan. She speaks Japanese and she's learning English. Minasan, okiyotsukete. Mata ashita. Goodbye, everyone. See you tomorrow.